if you have a hyper competitive background, you're going to succeed. Period. I don't care what it is that you're doing, whether it's roofs, cars, real estate. It doesn't matter what you're doing. It's going to translate if you're competitive. Look good, feel good, smell good. That's what I was told by someone a long time ago. And every single day I show up, it's do I look good, feel good, smell good? All right, check those boxes off. I know that I'm ready to start the day here.
Would you say that roofing is a get rich quick opportunity?
There's no secret to it beyond that. The effort that you put in is what you're going to get rewarded.
Hey, how's it going? It's Tim Brown, and this is the Hook Better Leads podcast. And today I've got Adam and Noah on from Roof Tiger and Solar Panther. Can you guys say your guys' last names for me?
Yeah, I'm Adam Paul, sales manager for Solar Panther and Roof Tiger.
Noah Sepich, sales representative for Roof Tiger, Solar Panther.
Awesome. And we're talking about a pretty crazy beginning to somebody's career in roofing. Noah in particular hit 700K in his first 2.5 real months in the industry, which is what honestly most reps do less than that in their entire year, and often several years into the career. And we're not shaming you. There's always different situations, different amounts of storms, different amounts of whatever. But we're trying to study you, man. We're trying to study you like a specimen. So can you give me a little bit of the background that brought you into the industry? And I'd love to hear from Adam's perspective too, like what was different about you coming in.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm 27 now. Even though I look like I'm 16, Tim, but I'm 27. I started in sales and customer service from the day I turned 18. Had a plethora of experience within that. It was actually mostly within a health and wellness background. Joined the military in that time frame, and then ended up actually selling mattresses before this job. So going from mattresses to this job, whole different experience. But what brought me to here was I just had seen the knock on the community. I started seeing Roof Tiger cars just everywhere and the marketing behind it. I was like, what the heck's going on with these guys? And I just kind of started thinking about it. And I was like, well, everyone needs a roof. So why not give it a shot? So I actually approached them and came in and sat down. And the first thing that when I walked through the door, Ben Morrow and Adam, the co-owners here of Roof Tiger, asked me, they said, are you selling us paper? And I said, no, I'm not Dunder Mifflin. And so that led to us being in a meeting right there and sat down for an interview, and the rest was kind of much history there.
Yeah, I mean, the short version of that is he just showed up at our door, said, hey, I've seen you guys, what's going on here?
Yeah.
And if you know Ben Tiger, he just went right to all right, we've got time right now, let's sit. And then he was like, hey, what are you doing the rest of the day? And he's like, hang out with you guys, I guess. And so he jumped in Ben's car, jumped in mine the next day, just having those conversations in the car on the way to customers' appointments and kind of just showing him a little bit inside of our company. I think Ben called me that, within 2 or 3 days from there. He's like, we're bringing this guy in full time. Let's do it right now. So I was like, okay. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Just like that.
Well, he caught us at a decent time. We were looking at how to scale. We're coming into our 4th year of business. Ben and I had ran predominantly all of the sales and company history, and we needed to scale. So what a better way to do it than someone show up your door and just say, hey, let's figure this thing out right now.
Noah, what's your perception of the roofing industry as you're like poking your head around? Like what's your vibe of like the opportunity and like just your first couple impressions here? Obviously being pretty fresh.
Yeah, so I'm very fresh to the industry. And I would say I found myself a career field. I really don't see a reason to turn back. It's an amazing opportunity. If you look around, I mean, how many roofs are there within your local community? Hundreds, thousands that need service at all times. So it's very lucrative. There's a lot of job security in the aspect of that. And there's always a hailstorm that hits somewhere, or there's always a repair that's needed, or there's always somebody that's needing a roof. So the opportunity is endless versus, in the backgrounds I had before, sitting or standing in a brick and mortar setting, I had to wait for a consumer to come through my door to, give them my pitch or whatever it was. Here, it doesn't stop. If I want more, all I do is walk out that door, get in my car, drive to another community that I know got hit with hail or that needs roofs, or maybe an area that I've already had good success in, and I start knocking on their neighbors' doors or whatever the case may be. But yeah, I love it, and the opportunity is absolutely endless in the industry.
Awesome, man. I know a lot of people recruit from either an athletic background and like military, I think, and like there's just different. Why do you think the stuff that, or do you think there's anything that you've taken from like the military background that's helping you be above average successful as a roofing sales rep?
Great question. I would say it definitely translates. I've seen a lot of great candidates in the military that I knew were going to get out eventually and do great things with their life. I've seen a lot that I was like, man, you better get some things in shape here. So I wouldn't say it is a direct correlation, but I think it does make an impact. And when we look
You're
at
saying
personality,
don't hire people just because they're in the military. You're saying, you're saying
I'm not. I'm not. I've seen some things, man. I've seen where your tax
yeah.
dollars go.
What
So
branch were you in?
yeah.
What
He
branch?
definitely takes
What branch
from
were
the
you in?
military. Oh, go ahead.
What were you saying,
Branch.
Tim?
What branch were you in?
Oh, Army.
Oh, nice, cool.
Yep. Yep.
Um, how long were you in for?
About 6 years.
6 years. Nice. Did you get deployed?
No, did not.
Okay. Where were you stationed?
So I was stationed right here local to where Roof Tiger is in Peoria, Illinois. It's
Nice.
got like
Were you
two
able
or three.
to like? Do you? I don't know that much about the military. Do you just do that, or were you working another job, or I don't know how I.
Yeah,
Sorry, I don't
so in
know.
a really quick, like 30-second or less nutshell, with the military, there's three different components that you can join. It's either active, where that's your full-time job, that's your career, or you have reserves, or you have guard, National Guard. I was in a component called the reserve component. So
Hmm.
it was 1 week a month, 2 weeks in the summer. If you get deployed, you get deployed. But beyond that, I still had a civilian job throughout my entire career. So I was still able to, be in sales and customer service in that time frame.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So, what else has led to you being so high performing so quick? Because this is an unusual result. Like we should note that this isn't the normal result of a roofing sales rep coming into the industry. Like people shouldn't be confused that this is like what's going to happen to everybody.
Sure,
Why do
sure.
you think it worked for you?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, to answer that, I want to backtrack a little bit to the question you just asked before. When you were saying, does military and athletic, like, does that correlate to the roofing industry, or how you got hired on? I think naturally these personality type, there's certain personality types and traits that just translate to sales in general, right? If you have a hyper competitive background, you're going to succeed. Period. I don't care what it is that you're doing, whether it's roofs, cars, real estate. It doesn't matter what you're doing. It's going to translate if you're competitive. Um, for myself in the roofing industry, I would say that it's been different for me. I think a big caveat to that was I had nearly a decade of experience within customer service before coming into this industry,
Mm.
so that helped well. To anybody that's looking to get into this industry that's never worked a sales job, like I don't care if you've been a contractor for 20 years and you know every ins and outs of it, and then you want to switch over to selling stuff. You can know everything about it, but if you don't have that natural just personality type to whether you train yourself to it or you're just naturally gifted with it, it's not going to translate to the consumer. So you really have to work on your social skills and your presentation skills. That is everything. And I think, you know, look good, feel good, smell good. That's what I was told by someone a long time ago. And
Yeah.
every single day I show up, do I look good, feel good, smell good? All right, check those boxes off. I know that I'm ready to start the day here and get this going.
Adam, can you take a sniff for us and tell us what you're smelling?
Yeah, it probably smells better than I do right now. It's hot out here today.
What is the smell?
What is
What is
that?
the smell?
It's this new cologne. You know, Dr. Squatch. He hit the scene like 5, 6 years
Oh
ago with
yeah,
those
yeah, yeah.
barbecue grills.
What kind is
Marketing
it?
is great.
That dude's got his marketing down for sure. But he came out
Okay.
with the cologne line, and that's what I've been using. It's been working.
What is it called? Because I was looking at that, I was considering it.
The one I have, it's got a blue label on it. It's called Glacier Falls.
Glacier.
That's a $700,000 secret right there. Is Glacier Falls. So
All
take the
right.
rest
Well,
of this
exactly.
podcast and
See,
go to Glacier Falls.
if you want to get 700,000 in roofing sales, you need Glacier Squatch.
By Dr.
Done.
Squash.
Now you get your sponsorship, Noah. You're on your way to being a roofing influencer. Really important stuff. All right.
Yep. Yep.
What would you say that roofing is a get rich quick opportunity?
So Adam may have a different opinion on this, but that's what all of our opinions come together to make a team, right? In my opinion, no. I think there's zero anything out there that's a get rich quick. I think you can be heavily compensated based off your effort, but that is it, period. There's no secret to it beyond that. The effort that you put in is what you're going to get rewarded. There's ups and downs in the industry. It's a seasonal industry. Depends where you're located. Whoever's viewing this, we're here in the Midwest, and so we've got winter months, cold months where we don't have time in the season to sell as much. So it's up and it's down. But this is the most money that I've ever made year to date in any industry I've been in. So it is the best compensated I have ever been, but I don't think it's a get rich quick, so to speak. Because I think when people hear the words get rich quick, or they start to look towards that avenue of mentality, they think I can put in little amount of effort or moderate amount of effort and I'm just going to make fat stacks. Doesn't work like that. Go to Arby's, man. It ain't gonna work like that here.
RoofCon is definitely the best conference I've ever attended, and I've been to several. We go to several every single year.
I bought the tickets. I said, we're going.
This year they broke 5,000 tickets, so it's growing bigger and bigger every single year.
If you're not here, I don't know where you're at.
Definitely coming back 2024. See you then.
RoofCon, the #1 conference for the roofing and solar community, is coming back to Orlando October 23rd through 25th, 2024. Get your tickets today at roofcon.com.
So I guess just to dive into that a little bit more, like, who would you say, if they were considering getting into roofing sales, should avoid it? Like, who is not suited for this life?
I'd say the people that aren't suited for this life is
You got to be a grinder. You got to have that. Ben and I say this all the time: is if you just with any position or company, not just sales, that we can do a lot with effort. If you're out here working and you're doing something the wrong way or just need to be taught, I can work with that. You can, just like you said, you have to have some natural sales ability, but if you don't have the effort, what good is that sales ability?
Yeah.
So it's got to be. And with Noah, I think where we got lucky is he has that competitive effort. I mean, his first month out the door, he's already asking us for a bonus if he hits a certain goal and things like that. And we've had to up that goal since. But yeah, I think just if you got the grind, I can find something for you here at Roof Tiger. But what he said in the last question, as far as just the overall competitiveness on top of the effort, that's what. So someone who shouldn't avoid the industry is someone who's not willing to give it all it's got.
Yeah, give it all it's got and stay organized. Those are two big key components.
You can't be scared either. You're talking to people all day. In some instances, you're knocking on their doorstep. So you got to be pretty fearless.
Yeah, Ben had said something to me really interesting. This was like a month and a half after I got hired. I was like, Ben, how did you know to take the chance on me? And he goes, because you doubted yourself when you walked in. Now, this might sound a little bit different, but at first I was a little scared. I mean, I think that's natural. It's human instinct for anybody getting into it. So I don't want to shun anybody away that is interested in getting in the industry. It's definitely worth still taking a shot, even if you're a little scared, because I was at first too. And what he told me was interesting, but he didn't tell me this, like I said, till a month and a half later. But he said, because you doubted yourself, you got in here, you were scared about everything. You're like, I don't know, man, and I don't know if this is going to work and stuff like that. And what that does is Adam and Ben, they kind of like that mentality almost in a way, because if you have that mentality, you're going to obsess over being successful. I mean, the moment I got home, even if I didn't have enough appointments when I was first starting off, or I just didn't have the complete knowledge yet to feel comfortable going knocking on the door yet, I was YouTubing, researching everything to the T, to the point where it was like my whole YouTube algorithm is now roofing everything that's popping up, because I just wanted to learn. I was obsessed. I wanted to learn everything there possibly was So I made sure that I was qualified when I walked out there to go represent my company.
I hope that some hook agency videos showed up in your roofing algorithm. Maybe, I hope. If not, you should YouTube roofing sales millionaire and watch the Dan Walrick when he sold 18 million in 1 year. It's kind of nuts. By the way, what is your lanyard?
So the lanyard is by a local
Can you show it?
guy.
Can you show it?
Yeah, it's if you can see, it says country financial, otherwise known as country companies. It's
Were
an
you guys at an
insurance
event
agency.
or something?
What's that?
Were you guys at an event or something?
No, this is a local guy named John Zeiser out in Mackinac, Illinois, that I just made a good relationship with. That gave it to me as a gift. But
Country Companies is in Bloomington, Illinois. It's right down the road from us, so we run into a lot of their agents,
Nice.
and we've got partnerships with a lot of their agents as well that send us referrals.
Nice, cool. So you're just rocking it because they're homies.
Dude, you never know what I know he said look good as one of the, not just smell good, but one of the first ride-alongs I took him to was
you're gonna bring up that story.
I have to. It was a customer. So when he door knocks, he wears a yellow vest, got a tiger on it, right? Because if you've seen our cars, you look up Roof Tiger at all, you know we're really loud. And so he gets in my car to go to a customer that called us, asking us to be, we're not door knocking today. This is just a hot lead for a roof and solar job. He's got his yellow vest on, and he gets in my car with a hard hat. And I was like, I looked at him like, I said, take off the fucking hat. You look ridiculous right now. So it's like,
bro. It's good. It's good. Welcome to the industry, bro. Like, it's funny because
I don't care what you do when you're out knocking. That's on your own time, but take the hat off of my car, man.
I love that, bro. Oh, that's good. It's funny because all of, like, the stock images for roofing are guys with hard hats. Like, what's falling on you, man? You're at the top of the food chain up here on the roof.
Well, we're also in a Tesla that's wrapped in tiger stripes, and then wearing the hard hat, it's like, dude, we're sales guys. We're not swinging the hammer. Just take the hat off.
They do say to try to like look as kind of like more like a little more construction-y than a sales guy. So there's the balance.
Yeah.
We're finding the balance. I love that.
I'm dressed like this, like I said, with a book bag on with an iPad. I'm about ready to take off.
We talk shit, but he sold a lot more roofs than me. I've only sold one roof in my life. So just to be, and when I did, like, I'm just a marketer, by the way, Noah. When I did, I was like fucking up the ladder trying to set it up. So, anyways, I laugh, but it's more just because it's fun. Adam,
just for the record, real quick, for the record, before you go to the next question, I have since ditched the hard hat, but I've kept the safety vest.
He does wear the vest.
I do wear the vest.
Okay, I like the safety vest. Some people use like a tool, like a tool belt too, just like make it a little bit more construction-y vibes.
Yeah, a little bit.
So, between a lot of people are like, we need to have hardcore training systems, and then other people are like, I don't want to train. If I'm a high performing salesperson, I don't want to train some guy that couldn't sell jack shit. You know what I mean? So there's this back and forth between different factions of like folks in your guys' position on that. How much has been training and how much has just been like, Noah being a high performer?
Yeah, it's a pretty good, I'd say it's a good combination of both. What was attractive about Noah's skill set is he had the people ability. I wasn't worried about sending him to a homeowner and being a liability or saying something that, could look bad on our company. So he had those personal skills just already within him. But Ben and I were at an interesting point in the company where we knew we wanted to scale and free our schedules from as many sales appointments. Also, being around for 4 years, our call volume's up. So there was a lot of training that went in, but it was real life on the job training. It wasn't like structured schedule. We do sales meetings and we do have, some of the paperwork side, the non-customer facing side, we trained him up on, but I'd say it was probably a pretty good 50-50 because Ben and I were still selling and we were now adding responsibility of training him to it. So it was very live on job training.
Not bad. Not a bad thing.
From the door knocking side of it, from the interaction side of it, we do go through Becca Spitzer's training to learn some of the door knocking components that I know he did during his research as well.
Nice. Yeah, she's awesome.
She's a beast.
What are some of the little things that you think, like if you were just somebody else was in your position, but like 4 months ago, and they're about to, because they might be watching this video right now. Noah, what are like a couple, like what would be a couple of your bits of like, do this for better results? You could have, I know you only sold 700, so what would have made you sell 800?
Got to get a safety vest. You got to get a safety vest. I think we live in a world now where we're all consumers, right? And with social media and technology and so much information being thrown at us, consumers have gotten a lot more educated. You know, we have the freedom to be able to do our own research and everything. And there's definitely a lot of sales, what I would categorize as sales resistance out in the world, right? So if you are coming out there and you're feeling, looking, smelling like a salesman, you're gonna naturally just get that. Glacier Falls, Dr. Squash. Give me a sponsorship.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I mean, you just can't. You've got to know when to turn and turn off that switch of selling, but not coming off salesy. So you got to keep it relaxed, but you also have to be confident in what you're saying to the consumer. So like let's say I'm approaching a door, for an example, to give you a live example. If I knock on a door, one of the first thing I say is, hey, I'm not just some door-to-door salesman. I'm here for an actual reason. I'm here because this area got hit by hail. Did you know that? And then I'm going to follow up with a question real quick. But get to the point, but also solidify the fact that, I'm not here to just randomly sell you something, because I mean, consumers just get hit with so much. So you got to get your point across quick, and you can't come off overly salesy.
How do you get over that anxiety around door knocking?
You never do. Yeah. It's that's the truth. I'm gonna give you the raw truth, no BS, man. You never do. I don't care if you've been doing it for 2 months or 20 years. It's never something that's comfortable. It's never something that's fun. But you just take a drink, some water, do a little breathing, and go to that door. And you have to keep in the back of your head, and I always remind myself of this. I'm here for a reason. I'm not here just willy-nilly, some random cause. This consumer needs what I have. They just don't exactly know it yet, or it hasn't been brought to their attention. But whether if I'm a door-to-door salesman of a vacuum or stereo equipment, it's like, well, they could need it, could not. Everyone needs a roof, period. There's no negotiation about that. If you call me a year and a half from now because your roof's been impacted by hail damage, but you didn't want to hear what I had to say, and now you're in an unfortunate situation where you got leaks that are coming through, and we're talking about a plethora of other expenses, I know that I have the information to present to this person right here, right now, that could help them. They just need to understand where I'm coming from, and I know that that's what's going to battle my anxiety when I'm going to that door, is because I'm coming at this with the nature of, I have the product or the service to be able to help this person, and they need help. They just don't realize it yet.
I think I'm gonna have to put the definition of plethora on the thumbnail of the video here, just so people know what we're talking about.
Sure.
Just kidding.
Sure.
They can figure it out. Just fucking with you. All right, can you give me a bad door story? Like anything that's gone wrong, as you've been knocking doors?
Oh God, a great question there too. Had one guy entered. I knocked on the door. What was messed up about this most of all was it was an appointment. Like we talked, and then he forgot who I was in the time being. Maybe I had the safety vest off and I put it back on. I don't know, but he had a gun in his hand when he entered the door.
Oh shit!
So we had to kind of calm that situation down real quick. But he actually was a really nice guy. Made me a cup of coffee and everything. But yeah. So I've
How
had
far,
that.
far
But
away
that
is
really didn't
Peoria
scare me too
from?
much.
How far away is
What?
Peoria from Chicago, guys?
We're about 2.5 from Chicago, 2.5 from St. Louis, kind of right in the middle.
You guys shouldn't be having guns out over there where you're at. Come on, what are you guys doing over there? Always
It's pretty
pissed.
rural.
Okay, okay, rural. Okay, I got you. No,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I've been with a big tough guy, fucking like that was knocking doors. It was David Taggart. I don't know if either of
Yes,
you
it
guys are
is.
familiar with him. He talks about door knocking a lot. He's kind of an intense,
Yeah.
muscular
Big time.
person. Well, we were knocking doors, and a guy comes out. He goes, he just like kind of came out like he probably had a gun, and like David is like, no, we're good, we're good, we're good. Like, and you can feel like he knows because we're in Texas. He
Oh yeah. Oh,
knows
okay.
what that stance means. There's just
Yeah.
apparently a stance that happens sometimes. Like where it's
Yeah.
like, okay, yep, it's fine. We're good. We're fine. And I was like, oh damn, David kind of knows when to back down here in the right situation, even though he's a very tough guy.
Yeah.
God bless Texas.
All right, like anything else on the crazy door stories?
Any
Um,
bad phones?
I say I've had other ones
Oh,
where.
dude, did you wrap up that story? I'm sorry. What happened after you came to the door with the gun?
Oh no, it was cool. He was like, oh yeah. I remember we had an appointment. And then, like I said, I went in. We sat down. He asked me if I wanted a cup of coffee, and it was a damn good cup of coffee.
Oh my God, that's so funny, man. What the hell? That's it's
Yeah.
just like I totally forgot about
It is
it.
what it is. But I've had a number of ones where, and it blows my mind every time. But when you knock on a door, and you never want to look through anybody that's door knocking. Okay, take this piece of advice: don't ever knock on a door and then be looking into their window. Always do a knock and then kind of look to the side. You never want to be invasive into somebody's home. That's a key psychological factor there.
Yeah.
But but this one was the chair was just right in the window, so it was almost like even if I was looking to the side where this window placement was, you could visually see them. I'm knocking on the door, they're looking at me, and they still don't answer. And it's like, you see me, I know I see you. At least tell me to screw off, like give me something
Wow.
here, but just nothing. So you run into that a lot too.
So interesting.
Yeah, people.
Yeah, that would
Man,
creep me out, man. If somebody did that, I would be weirded out. It's like I've heard like you just like take a few steps back once you knock, because then it's like you're trying to look on a like honestly, I think that's partly why some of the like sales coaches are a little shorter, because I think they did good with the like a little bit like less intimidating. Like if I walk up to a fucking door, dude, I gotta like bring myself down because
yeah.
I look like I'm 6'3", so I think I'm scary at a door, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I just like to think that. All right. Well, any final words? You did something incredible, Noah. This 700K is unusual. I mean, I do just let anyone onto my podcast, but still, no. I honestly do not have any newer reps on my podcast ever. And I know Ben does a great job over there, and he recommended you be on. I also think this is inspirational to newer guys. So if you have anything else to just kind of get them in the mood to go out and sell, or any tips,
Sure.
we'd love any final words.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me on here, Tim. Really appreciate it, man. Yeah, I'd say in closing, for any final words, it's just if you have any slight aspiration, if you have any curiosity, give it a try. Do it seriously. It's worth it in the end. It has its ups and downs, but it's worth it. I mean, I know of little jobs out there that you can walk into and be in your 20s, 30s, 40s, or I don't care what age you are, and have the opportunity to make hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's an amazing industry to be in, and it's a helping industry too. At the end of the day, the product or service that we're selling to consumers is truly helping their lives. So everyone needs a roof, and that's a big part of it for me. So I have to feel good about what I'm selling to somebody, and I definitely feel good about selling somebody the roof. So I'd say if you have an aspiration to do it, give it a try. If you think you're going to go into it and be able to put half an effort or do this little part-time crap, go to Arby's. It ain't for you, man, or woman. It's just it takes everything you have, and you've got to be almost obsessive and selfish in the aspect of wanting to be hungry to learn every aspect you can, whether it's coming down to insurance or roofing components, what goes into a roof, all of it. So you this is not an industry that you can come in and just do half-assed. But if you do put your best foot forward, you will be rewarded, even if it takes you a little bit to get up and going. It took me a little bit to get up and going, and but once it's going, this phone is not going to stop. You are going to be that new roofing person in your local community. And I've had 3 call me today that I haven't even knocked on their door or nothing. You'll get your name out there, you'll do good work, and it'll just snowball. So that's what I had to say.
I think that's like part of it. What I recommend too is like, I love the door knocking thing. You should do it. You take control of your own destiny with door knocking. But if that's where it ends and you're not starting to get like a little bit more snowball where people are calling you occasionally or more over as time progresses, you got to look at how you're interacting with people and maybe talk with them more about referrals or try to play into the referrals game, because the referrals game is beautiful.
Yeah,
door knocking
100%.
game is beautiful to open the doors and then not to stop, but like you want to get more and more referrals over time. Adam, what would you say for somebody, and I know that he just walked in your door, which is kind of lucky, but like if somebody is looking for somebody like Noah to join their team, what should they be looking for as you're recruiting people?
Well, yeah, he kind of, like you said, he fell in our lap. I mean, he came in and said, "Hey, I've seen you guys out there." I would say where Ben and I kind of won the situation as well is we're always keeping our options open as well. He showed up, so I mean, the fact that he showed up as opposed to us having to go find him was already a plus right from the jump. Just like you said, you let anybody on the podcast, but like we let anybody in for a ride along. So we had that mindset, and then we were just able to build a pretty good connection from there. So I would say the mindset, just always be recruiting, pay attention to where you're at. I mean, if you're looking to scale or you're looking to grow your team, just don't leave any stone unturned. Like I said, it was lucky that he walked in, but we've also built our team under, with a certain culture. A lot of us grew up together. And so a culture fit was a really big thing for us too. So yeah, we just have to stay open-minded, always be recruiting, always know, if you see talent, you recognize talent, go for it.
Yeah, and the fact that he walked in, partly because of the loud brand and the being visible in the community, that's a whole lesson too. Like to be the company that's kind of a little weird and interesting in a certain way, to capture somebody's eye that is a cool guy. Like that's a whole art.
Ben's marketing brain definitely captured attention and the reason he walked in. But yeah, just the fact that he walked in should mean he had that little bit of fearness. I mean, he essentially door knocked us for a job. So yeah, if you're interested out there, find a company that's near you that is willing to take you in for a ride along and just soak up as much as you can.
Love it. And what's the .com if somebody wants to check you guys out?
TheRoofTiger.com.
TheRoofTiger.com. Appreciate you guys being on.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Tim. Appreciate it.
And the podcast is put on by HookAgency.com. Hook Agency all over social media. Please like, comment, subscribe. And if you're listening, rate and review the podcast. All right, peace, guys.